If you're thinking about moving to Myrtle Beach and are not sure where to start, well, don't worry. I scoured the internet to find the top 5 areas people actually search for when they're relocating here. I dug through Google, Reddit, Discord, and many Facebook groups to see the real questions people are asking. Your house can be gorgeous and you can still be living in a place where you angrily eat drive-through in your driveway. So here are the ground rules. We're staying within the 15 to 40 minute bubble around Myrtle Beach. I'm going to be answering the top 5 questions people are asking for each area. For instance, number 1, who's it best for? Number 2, what people love about the area? Number 3, the biggest complaint. Number 4, the price vibe. And number 5, things you must check before buying. This is going to get pretty detailed, but don't worry because I'm going to make it super easy and give you a cheat sheet so you can quickly figure out which area fits the best. So let's get started. Area number 1, Conway. So Conway is a choice for people who want more local, more space, a little breathing room from the tourist energy while still being close enough to enjoy it when they want to. So Conway is one of those areas that we've covered so much on our channel. In fact, we created a separate playlist. So we're not going to get into every single detail about living in Conway. If you want to check out those videos, we tour Conway, we tour all the new subdivisions in Conway. Check out that playlist. It's titled Living in Conway, everything you need to know. It's a separate playlist for you, but check it out after this video. But anyway, Conway is going to be located right here. And this is the boundaries of Conway. Just know that this is like an older boundary because I'm going to be honest with you, Conway is expanding because of all the new construction that's taking place in the area. So Conway is much bigger than this. And that's the reason why it offers a little bit of everything for everybody, right? So let's get right into it. Who is it good for? So Conway is good for families who are looking for value and more space. In fact, we sold a home in Conway, a 5-bedroom home in Conway to somebody who had a job transfer, but they also had kids that were coming with them, right? They were a big family and they needed that 5-bedroom home. And we were able to get them a 5-bedroom home at a very affordable price. In fact, that same home in Myrtle Beach was about $80,000 more than it was because it was in Conway. So that's one of the reasons why a lot of people are moving into Conway. Again, it's because it's super affordable compared to living closer to the beach. And it's also good for people who just don't need to be 5 minutes from the beach every single day, right? That's something that it would be, you know, a trip that you take once in a while or maybe once a week, which is not a big deal, right? If you're talking to me, living 40 minutes to the beach, that's great because in New York, when I was a fireman, I used to commute especially in traffic. It used to take me 1 hour and 45 minutes just to get to work. And in the summer, sometimes 2 hours to get back home on a Friday night. So for being 40 minutes away from me, relatively speaking, it's not too far, right? So let's look at what people love about Conway. And the number 1 reason people love living in Conway is because of downtown Conway. So downtown Conway is one of the oldest towns in South Carolina, and it's amazing because they decorate downtown Conway every single holiday. Right now, currently, it's Christmas, so they have it decorated to the nines. It's a beautiful place if you want to walk around the Riverwalk, if you want to enjoy some nice drinks. In fact, all restaurants for that matter, they have tons of mom and pop shops. My favorite spot is Rivertown Bistro, only because they make the best old fashions there. So if you're a big old fashions fan, they make the best old fashions at the Rivertown Bistro. But there are other places like the Leone's Deli. That place is amazing. They make the best cold sandwiches I've ever had down here in the Myrtle Beach area. But again, that's one of the main reasons why. And in fact, we recently sold a home, which was about a 5-minute drive to downtown Conway to this particular family because they wanted to be in walking distance to downtown Conway. So that's how much it meant to them that they bought this home because they wanted to be that close to downtown Conway. It's one of those things that people love, right? So what are some of the biggest complaints? So one of the biggest complaints is that depending where you live, some areas are better than others. From past experience and clients telling me when they drive around the community, because something we do is when you jump on that one-on-one Zoom call with us, we kind of figure out exactly where you want to start looking. and we set up a hot sheet for you where you can go and tour the neighborhoods. And one of the biggest complaints is that some of the neighborhoods are beautiful. They just don't like to drive into the neighborhoods, right? So sometimes there's a couple of eyesores, you have pockets of places where people feel like, they don't really like the vibe of it, right? But then there's others because Conway offers a little bit of everybody. It depends what you're looking for. But that's one of the biggest complaints. And another one is that you're going to be further away from some of the big box stores. And by further away, I mean maybe 20 minutes, to some of the big box stores or Tanger's Outlet, depending where in Conway you live. Now let's talk about the price vibe, right? The median price point in Conway is $317,000 as of this recording. This is 2025, obviously, and we're in December. That's the median price point. So that's going to give you, more affordability than you would get when living in the Myrtle Beach area or closer to the beach. In fact, a 5-bedroom home in this area, which in fact we sold the family a 5-bedroom home because they had a job transfer and they needed that extra bedroom. It was a family of 5. They needed that extra bedroom. We were able to get them a 5-bedroom home at a very affordable price. In fact, that same floor plan in Myrtle Beach was about $80,000 to $90,000 more than it was in Conway. So again, you're going to get more bang for your buck by living there, right? So let's talk about things you have to check before buying, right? So the one thing you have to check before buying are the flood zones and obviously the commute times. If you're coming down here to work and you have to drive into Myrtle Beach to work, that's something that you would have to check first before purchasing, right? You want to get a good feel for the area, and something that we recommend for clients, especially those who are 6 to 8 months out, is to come down here different times of the year just so you can see the feel, the vibe. Come in the winter, come in the spring, come in the summer, just so you get an idea of what it feels like to live here in different seasons. I know that can be very overwhelming to do that, but if you can come at least once or twice just to get a good feel before you purchase, I think that's the best thing for you to make sure that you make the right decision when moving down here. So the next community we're going to look at is one of those communities that people pick for the community vibe, right? And then immediately ask me, okay, so how bad is the traffic? Because they're willing to put up with the traffic because the community is so darn good. Hey, before we go on, if you don't already know, we're Chris and Alysia. We are local realtors down here in the Myrtle Beach area, and we're also transplants from Long Island, New York. We made the move just like you're ready to make, and our goal for this channel is to make it as stress-free as possible. That's why we put out videos every single Saturday at 8 a.m. If that's something you want to be alerted for, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you're notified every single time we put a video out. And again, if you want to schedule your one-on-one Zoom call, simply visit our website, living-in-myrtlebeach.com. Not only do we have the most interactive map here in the area, but we also have a place where you can contact us right here if you want to set up your one-on-one Zoom call. Click on Let's Get Started, type in the information there, and you'll be on your way to setting your one-on-one Zoom call today. Area number 2, Carolina Forest. This is the master plan suburb feel, right? People love it because it has that newer community vibe, amenities, and a lot of housing options. So Carolina Forest is going to be located right in here. You're going to be sandwiched in between 501 and International Drive and Carolina Bay Parkway, or 31, Highway 31. You're going to be right in here, and right along here, along Carolina Forest Boulevard, you're going to have so many subdivisions here. You're going to have the parks, you're going to have Indigo Bay, you're going to have the farm, you're going to have Waterbridge, you're going to have Berkshire Forest, and you're also going to have some pockets of condos, communities, if you want to live in the condo, right? So who is Carolina Forest best for? It's going to be best for families who want that neighborhood feel with amenities, right? So people looking for a newer home with community amenities, this is going to be ideal for you. Also, buyers want it to be conveniently close to shopping. So right along 501, you're going to have all your big box stores. You're going to have your Tanger's Outlet. You're going to have a Publix on this side. You're going to have your whole your Walmart Supercenter right up here. You're also going to have on this side, which sometimes it gets it's less congested if you go to International Drive or River Oaks. Right along River Oaks, you're going to have a Lowe's Food right over here, and then you're also going to have your Publix, 𝗃𝗶𝗁 is going to be right in here, and they're actually building a new Wendy's here, and they have a food line in here as well. So you're going to be close to all that living within this community, right? So what do people, now that leads me to the why do people love this area? So people love this area because it's easy, right? It's close to everything, and it has a modern feel to it. And it's very popular for those relocating here with kids, again, because of the school district and because of the community vibe and the amenities for the kids. And not only that, but it's going to be close enough to the city limits of Myrtle Beach. So if you do want to take the kids to Myrtle Beach, you can do so. You're minutes away from that, but yet you're going to have a nice buffer zone here with the intracoastal separating you from the busyness that Myrtle Beach has to offer during the tourist season. But again, it's one of those ideal places. So what are some of the biggest complaints here? The number one complaint here is the traffic, right? So coming from New York, the traffic down here to me is a joke. I used to commute 2 hours sometimes to work from Long Island to the firehouse. It used to take me 2 hours because of the traffic alone. So the traffic down here to me, relatively speaking, is a joke. So it depends where you're coming from. The traffic can become old, especially if you're still going to come down here and work, or if you have to take the kids to school in the morning. In the morning, I will tell you, sometimes I try to come out of my gate if I do have to travel in the morning, if I have to go out in the morning for whatever reason. Sometimes getting out of my gate can take some time because you have school buses, you have people in the community taking their kids to school along Carolina Forest Boulevard here, but that's something that I can deal with. I'm not in a rush to get anywhere, but it might become old to you. So that's one of the biggest complaints here is the congestions during peak times. And I'll tell you a funny story. I was out and about after 5 o'clock, or it was about 5:30. And the last time I was out at 5:30, usually I'm home by 3. So it was rare for me to be out by 5:30. I couldn't believe the traffic out there, but it could be because it's the holidays, people getting out of work, doing some holiday shopping. Maybe it's because of that. But anyway, there was a lot of traffic out there. And again, this is a community where we've actually helped families relocate here because they were coming down with young kids and they wanted to make sure that kids have friends and got accustomed to the area. Not only that, but had, some communities with pools and amenities just to keep their kids, happy and make sure that they make friends. Obviously, that's one of your biggest concerns when they come down here is to make sure that, they're leaving friends behind, to make sure that they're making new friends down here. So now let's talk about the price point. The price vibe down here is going to be between the condos, the resale, and the new construction. The median price point is going to be about $382,000. And the first thing you need to check before moving into the area is the drive time. So if you're coming down here, this is the first thing you need to check before purchasing a home is the drive time. If you need to drive to work, commute to work, come down here and check it out, especially if you're like 6-9 months away from purchasing a home down here. Come down during different seasons and travel during different times of the day, just so you get a good feel of the area. Because the last thing you want to do is move into an area, buy a house, and then call us a year later and say, Chris and Alysia, I want you to sell my house. I want to move further away where there's less traffic. So you have to come down here and make sure that it's a good fit. Area number 3, Market Commons. Now, Market Commons is the answer when somebody tells me, I want to be able to walk around the neighborhood and go shopping and live a lifestyle where there are pockets of communities with amenities, but still feel polished, livable year-round. So Market Commons is going to bring you really close. It's going to bring you really close to the airport here and closer to the beach. But the good thing about Market Commons is that it's like a little city in itself, so to speak, because you're going to have about 13 subdivisions in here. Some subdivisions are going to have amenities, some aren't. But the good news is that if your subdivision does not have any amenities, they do. If you do live within the not the Carolina Forest, but the Market Commons area, you will have a pool that you can use, that it's public for everyone to use that lives within the Commons area. But anyway, Market Commons is going to be one of those areas that is going to provide you a lifestyle. Say, for instance, if you're coming from a big city but you want some Southern charm, it's going to give you a mix of both, right? So you're going to have a mix of some Southern charm and also a mix of, that big city feel, because you're going to have everything here, from movie theaters to breweries to restaurants to farmers markets, sushi, Chinese food, bookstores, little mom and pop shops, And one of the things that's very convenient is that you can ride your golf cart around this community, and you can actually ride it to the beach. If you want to go to the beach right over here, you're going to be right close to Myrtle Beach State Park, which is a state park where you do have to pay a fee to get in there. I recommend that you get the yearly pass, because in South Carolina, we have over 60 state parks in the state. So if you do want to venture out into the interior of South Carolina and visit some of those state parks, you pay, I think it's $100. I paid $100 last time. So you're able to visit not only Myrtle Beach State Park, but all the other state parks in South Carolina. And most importantly, the other state park here, Huntington State Park, which is further south. We will touch on that coming up in a few in a few other communities that we're going to be talking about. But anyway, Market Commons is one of those areas where everything is close by, right? So who is it best for? So it's basically for people who want, as I mentioned before, who want that city feel, that neighborhood feel, right? People relocating that need to be close to, dining, medical centers, dentists. I mean, you name it. They have everything within this community. They actually have a dental school here where actually my mom went there to have a cleaning done recently, and they did it for $20. So if you're looking to get your cleaning done, they do have a dental school down there where they do it for $20, a dental cleaning, but it's awesome. Everything is there. Everything you can imagine is there. Again, it's good for those people that are looking to be close to it all and not have to venture out of this little city, so to speak, because you can drive your golf carts to most of these places. In fact, one of the, recently, I think it was last year, we helped an older couple move down here. And the reason why they wanted to move here was for that same reason. They wanted that community feel where they can just drive. They don't have to plan their whole day just to go shopping because everything is so close by, right? And not only that, but they travel a lot, right? So they wanted to be close to the airport. They wanted to be just minutes away from the airport, and this was a perfect spot. As you can see, the airport is right in here, is right next door to Market Commons. So that's one of the other reasons why they wanted to live in this community, that they needed to be close to the airport. So what are some of the, so what do people love about it? Obviously, it's the feel that everything is close by, right? They don't have to like plan their day to go shopping. And one of the biggest complaints is that you're going to be paying for the vibe, right? So it's going to be a little bit more expensive than the other communities that we took a look at. And there's extra rules that come with that, right? But the price range in this community is $474,000. So it's not your typical cheap zone, but you're going to be paying for that location, right? You're going to be paying for that walkability and that curated feel, so to speak. So one of the things that you should check before moving into this area or into any of the 13 subdivisions that are within this area is that you have to check to see if there are any extra HOA fees, the HOA details, and what you can expect in rules and regulations, because they might fluctuate from subdivision to subdivision. So that's something that you need to check on. Make sure that you get your hands on that HOA, and that's something that we do for you. We make sure that we give you that HOA package so you can read it before you make a decision whether you want to move into this area or not. So the next community we're going to be taking a look at is we're going to be going up north, right, where people start saying, I want that beach town energy, but I don't want the Myrtle Beach crowds. This next area is probably going to be the best spot for that. Area number 4, North Myrtle Beach and Little River. These constantly are searched because they give you a different feel than Myrtle Beach proper. More beach town, more local pockets, and for many people, it just feels like it's just a better fit. So over the past 2 years, we've helped so many people relocate, not only to Little River right in here, but also North Myrtle Beach area, whether it's the Grand Dunes or just blocks from the beach in North Myrtle Beach. We've helped so many families relocate down here, all for various reasons, right? And this is going to bring you closer to the North and South Carolina border here. But just know that Little River has its own vibe, right? And North Myrtle Beach has its own vibe as well. But you're all going to be conveniently located right off 17. You're going to be close to shopping. So who is this best for? Who are these areas best for? So people who want to be close to the beach, but not the center of Myrtle Beach, right? Because Myrtle Beach can get super, super busy during the tourist season. Also, retirees who want that coastal pace. For those that want that coastal pace, but again, not have that busyness, can live in places such as Little River, where you're going to have the intracoastal as a buffer zone here, but just be minutes away off 9, to 17, and you can be at Cherry Grove Beach within minutes. If you know, Cherry Grove Beach is one of my favorite beach. I gotta say, it's one of the most beautiful beaches down here. So if you ever come down here to vacation during the summer, go check it out. I mean, it is one of my favorite beaches. It is so beautiful, but definitely check it out. But that's one of the reasons why people like to move to this area here. Also, buyers, again, who want to be close to North Carolina border. We had a family who moved down here because they did not want to live in North Carolina, but still wanted to be close enough to family in North Carolina. So their family lived in the North Carolina area, about in the Georgetown, in Wilmington, and they want to be close to their family. So they decided to move to the Little River area because that's going to be about an hour and 45 minutes to Wilmington, if not less, right? So that's another reason why people move here. If they have family in North Carolina but don't want to move to North Carolina, they move to Little River. We've helped so many people move to this area, right? And not only that, but it brings me to another story. They own an Italian restaurant in Jersey, and they wanted to buy a vacation spot, so they ended in North Myrtle Beach. Their dream was to be blocks away from the beach, right? So they can go on their morning walks on the beach and walk their dog on the beach and not have any HOA fees. But they didn't want to be on the beach, right? So we were able to locate their perfect home, not within a subdivision, that was a couple of blocks away from the beach, but still had access to the beach. They could just walk down. It was a 5-minute walk down to the beach. So I love watching their Facebook posts every time they come down here for vacation. They absolutely love the area. They love the beach, and we were happy we were able to help them with that, right? So what do people love most about this? Well, it feels more like a coastal town than a resort strip, right? And there are pockets of people that live here year round. Also, especially in the North Myrtle Beach, you get closer to the beach, you do have a lot of vacation rentals there, right? But for the most part, if you go to places like Barefoot Landing, Barefoot Resort, you're going to have people that live there year round as well. And let's not forget the attractions that are close by, right? Barefoot Landing is a place where you can go and enjoy a lot of restaurants, a lot of bars and restaurants and shops. If you go to Barefoot Landing, it's also one of my favorite places too to go and have some tacos. They have Taco Mundos there, which is one of my favorite places to eat tacos. You're gonna have that all within the area here in North Myrtle Beach, but yet not be in the touristy area of Myrtle Beach. You're going to be in North Myrtle Beach. I think I said Myrtle Beach. No, you're going to be within North Myrtle Beach here and the Little River area. So the biggest complaint again is that the prices here run a little higher than they would, in places like Conway, in places like Carolina Forest. But let's talk about that now. Let's talk about the fact that you're going to be paying, the price point here is going to be, the median price point is going to be like about $405,000. And that's a combination of not only condos, but also townhomes. You're going to have residential homes, new construction, resale. So that's a combination of all of them. It's going to be about $405,000. But the thing that you need to check now, the first thing you need to check before you buy are the HOA rules, the parking rules near the beach, and what the area feels like in peak season. Because although you're away from the tourist area, you do have some short-term rentals in that area that can become a little busy. Not as busy as Myrtle Beach proper, but something that you need to really check on before you decide to make a move in this area. And again, we've done a lot of videos in this area. Just visit our YouTube channel and check out the North Myrtle Beach videos that we've shot there. Check out the playlist there, and it'll give you more of an idea of what Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach is about, and Little River for that matter. We shot a lot of videos in Little River as well. Some new communities there, such as Bridgewater, right? Check those videos out. They're super informative. And the next area we're going to take a look at is an area that's much calmer. It's a much calmer beach vibe, right? It has great food, and it's for people that don't mind being a little south of the main action. Area number 5, Surfside Beach, Garden City Beach, and Murrells Inlet. Now, these come up constantly because they feel more laid back, more local, and for a lot of our relocators, it's exactly the pace they wanted when they said, I want that coastal living. So now let's look at the most popular beach towns that people are searching for before relocating down here, right? So you have Surfside Beach, which is located right here, and then you have Garden City Beach, which is right in here, and then you have Murrells Inlet, which is right here. Each of these are very, very high searched areas when I was researching, right? So let's talk about who in particular this area is ideal for. So it's ideal for, again, retirees who want a much calmer vibe than you would get in North Myrtle Beach and even in some parts of Little River, right? And it's for families that want beach access without having that busy energy that you would have in Myrtle Beach. So I'll tell you a quick story. I recently sold a home here after looking for over a year. I sold a home here to a lieutenant of mine from the New York City Fire Department. I actually work with him. I was actually his driver. I used to drive the fire truck and I was his driver. But we waited a year for this home to pop up. And once it popped up, we put an offer. It is just it was like 3 blocks away from, not even 2 blocks away from the beach. And he was looking for the ideal place where he can bring his family down here on vacations because he is retired now. And he comes down here, it seems like almost every other month down here, even in the winters, just to spend some time there because bars are still open. And he wanted to be able to drive his golf cart around the bars and to the beaches and stuff like that. So we were able to locate something for him there. But also you have Garden City Beach. Garden City Beach is going to be one of those beaches, one of those areas where it's beautiful. You're going to have a combination of all types of homes, right? But for the most part, Murrells Inlet is another spot where if you love golfing, you have a couple of golf communities in there, in particular Prince Creek. We did shoot videos in there. So again, go check out our YouTube channel. We have so many videos there of neighborhoods that we've shot in, right? But that's who it's basically for people who are looking for either second homes or to live here year round and have that relaxed lifestyle. Not only that, but also to be close to restaurants at the Marsh Walk, right? At the Marsh Walk, you have so many restaurants there. I mean, you have breweries, restaurants, seafood restaurants, you name it, especially Wicked Tuna, which is one of my favorite spots down by the Murrells Inlet, the Marsh Walk, the inlet there. So yeah, if that's what typically people who move down here are looking for, not to be in that busy zone in Myrtle Beach, but to be in this area here where you'll still be able to enjoy the beach and all the restaurants and shopping and stuff like that. So what do people love most about the area? Again, it's the scenic and chill lifestyle. It almost feels like it's intentional, right? And this is where people go when they want to just live here and not be bothered, right? So it is a beautiful area, as you can see from some of the drone footage that we've put up there for you. So one of the biggest complaints is that some of these areas are in flood zones. So it does come to with a premium. So some of these homes closer to the beach will be elevated, right? It will carry a premium, an insurance premium. So that's one of the drawbacks. But there are certain areas, sort of like Prince Creek, where you are distance away from the beach, where the insurance is going to be a little lower. But that's one of the biggest complaints here. But again, it's something that you have to take house by house basis. And when we're talking about price vibe, right? The price range, the median price point down here between condos, townhouse, new construction is about $354,000, right? And it gives you a wide variety of homes down here at price points where everybody can afford, right? And you have some pockets, again, that are going to be closer to the beach and others that aren't going to be close to the beach, that are going to be on the other side of 17 right in here, right? So that's another thing that you have to take into consideration, when moving down here. Obviously, is the price point, and the closer you are to the beach, the more expensive it's going to be. And one thing that you need to check first, again, before purchasing a home down here and finding that perfect neighborhood, is the flood maps. Something we do for our clients is we show them the flood maps. We show them where the flood plains are and stuff like that, so they can make an informed decision. We also offer them to get insurance quotes to make sure that that they can afford the insurance quotes, the insurance for the home. Because let me tell you, in some of these areas, the insurance can be really high, and you have to take that into consideration when you're retiring down here and you want to live within your budget. That's something that you really have to think about. All right, as promised, here is your quick cheat sheet. If you want value and space, it's going to be Conway. If you want master plan suburb feel and lifestyle, Carolina Forest is going to be for you. And if you want walkability, Lifestyle inside Myrtle Beach, Market Commons is the spot. If you want different beach town vibes, North Myrtle Beach and Little River is the place. And if you want calm coastal living, Surfside Beach, Garden City Beach, Murrells Inlet is going to be your spot. If you love this video, check out the new construction playlist popping up on your screen right now.